You may have seen recently the article about outgroup bias amongst groups. The only group in society that has an outgroup bias is white leftists. This is awful. Having an outgroup bias is saying you hate yourself. It's self-loathing. This is suicide, basically. It means you want to kill yourself. You want to wipe out your own group. How would you do that? Would open borders be a good way of doing that? Yes, it would. Once you realise the white left hates itself, and other parts of the left and far left also hate whites because they're racist. The left is extremely racist now and sexist against men. When you view the left through the prism of what it is, all their actions make sense. Of course you want open borders. You want to destroy yourself. You want to commit suicide. So you open up the borders. You let in as many of the other as possible. You have articles on places like The Guardian saying white people shouldn't have kids. It's self-loathing brain cancer. And it's taught to kids at university. They're told that whiteness studies at university is white people are shit. Look at how racist and shit they are. Black studies is how great are black people. Can you see the problem there? This is a suicidal self-loathing that ends, and this may seem hyperbolic now, but you extrapolate this 10 years or 100 years, this ends in white genocide. This ends in white people killing themselves and killing other white people because they hate themselves. That's where this leads if nothing is done. So if you're in a job, if you see this kind of behaviour, it's time to stand up. It's time for people to resist this racism and sexism. It's the future of the civilized world depends on this. Big corporations now have enforced diversity at the heart of their corporation. Completely unproved. Science. In fact, proved to be ineffective. Unconscious bias training does nothing except indoctrinate people. There are racial quotas in every major company now and universities. What is a racial quota? It's just open racism. Who's it racist against? Of course it's racist against white people and sexist against men. This is suicide. Which other country, which other parts of the world other than the West have outgroup bias? Do you think in Japan, do you think they're desperately trying to get non-Japanese people into their jobs? No, of course not. And this is all completely wrong. There's two directions society can go in to get fairer. Meritocracy, or you can do what the intersectionalists, postmodernists want to do. You flip that narrative and discriminate against the groups who they see discriminating against other people. The problem with that is you're replacing one form of racism and sexism with another form of racism and sexism. Not only is that going to lead to death, violence, and hell, when does it end? Let's say we go down that path. At what point do you say, when is there a plan to go, you know what, we've solved it now, let's just go back to meritocracy? There's no plan to do that. These people just want power. Feminists just want to take power away from men who've earned it and take it from themselves, give it to women who haven't earned it. That's what feminism is. It's a hate group against men. When you go down this road, not only is it impractical and it's a blunt instrument, not all men are privileged, not all white people are privileged. Who's better off, a black rich person or a poor white person? It's such a blunt instrument, firstly. Secondly, it's going to lead to huge resentment. And thirdly, it's unworkable. Meritocracy is the only direction you should go down here. It's the only place that doesn't lead to a race war, genocide, and hell, if taken to its logical conclusion. So go out into the world and spread a meritocracy. Resist this lunacy. And buy Douglas Murray's new book.